So we are currently doing 12,200 litres of milk per cow. We are currently doing 4,400 litres from forage. We're aiming to try to do 5,000. So forage quality is exceptionally important to us, mainly because forage is a much cheaper food source than concentrates. So therefore, the more milk we can get from forage, the greater the margin we have. Like any farmer, we want a high yield, and we'd like 18 tonnes of maize per acre on a fresh weight basis. But because we're cutting later, we want to get a 40% dry matter maize at a 38% starch, and we have sometimes got 41. So we would tend to look at the tonnes of starch we have per hectare as our achieving goal, rather than tonnes of forage plant, because that way we'll get more milk from forage. When we harvest our maize, it's important to us to try and get the maximum amount of starch possible. And by cutting too early, we have a great risk of having reduced starch. Things that we'd be looking for is that we've not got any milky grains on the end of the cob, that we've got glazed dark parts in the cob, which is showing that it's mature. If you break a cob in half, there's what's called the milk line. So as the crop matures, the milk line recesses back to the centre, and that increases the starch content, which gives us what we're looking for, which is the maximum amount of starch we can get from the crop to give us the maximum amount of milk. As we do a lot of maize, we use additive on everything, all of our grass and all of our maize. And on the maize, we use our Magniva Maize Elite. It's an insurance to make sure that we've got good quality forages, in terms of we don't have secondary fermentations, and we have a much faster, quicker fermentation in the clab, which will give us better quality food and much less food waste in terms of heating food, but also in shrinkage. And therefore, when we're feeding, we've got a stable food which will give us a lot more intake of food for the cows, and therefore more milk. Over a 20-year period, we've used various inoculants and been to various trials. And it is a very hard thing to use an inoculant to get defining results, because you clamp it, you've got a long period of time before you're feeding it, and the comparison between which inoculant is best, whether no inoculant will be satisfactory, so it could be a saving. It was the insurance of the quality products that Lallemand make, that we knew that we had quality products that we could rely on year, season on season, depending on dry matter, depending on conditions, that the amount of our forage value is phenomenal. The amount that we pay for that to ensure we have a great fermentation, and the losses is a very small amount we pay for, considering the value of everything involved.